warm welcome to First of all, on behalf of the staff and the students here at Coleman High School, we'd all like to extend a warm welcome to our guests from Crivitz and Wausaukee and the guests from the Coleman area to today's HiQ competition. We'd also like to extend a welcome to all the folks affiliated with this program and thank them for their efforts throughout this season. And also at this time, I think it would be very appropriate on behalf of all of us to a good round of applause to congratulate all three teams. At this level, a couple of announcements very quickly. Following this competition, there will be a reception in the cafeteria for the teams and advisors and our guests. And the students then, following the program, you will be going to your 7th period class. And at this time, then, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Phil Monroe, who is the general manager of both the Marinette and Oconto mill sites with Scott Paper Company.
Thank you. Good afternoon. On behalf of Scott Paper Company, we're extremely proud to welcome all of you to the Scott HiQ matches this afternoon. Scott HiQ is the oldest academic quiz program in the United States. It was started 41 years ago in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and for the last 13 years has been part of the Wisconsin and Michigan scene. Our objective is to recognize and encourage academic achievement, good sportsmanship, and initiative. We thank all of you for your support today and in the past for these three teams. The teams that you see assembled to my left are the finalists this year, and they're the finalists because they did the best in the preliminary rounds. And it's with great pleasure that at this time I'd like to acknowledge not only just the teams but the faculty advisors, because they're the strength in the core and they put it all together. First, I'd like to congratulate Pat Lane and the Crivitz team. Pat's been associated with the Crivitz team for the last 4 years. Secondly, Kathy Walters and Jerry Hero, who have been associated with the Wausaukee team for the past 7 years. And last but certainly not least, the Coleman faculty advisors. I can tell this is going to be a good day because you beat me to the punch. I was going to ask for a round of applause. That's super. Remember, no matter who wins today, all three of these teams have done an outstanding job. They're here today because they're the best of the best. So let's have a good contest. It's going to be a great afternoon. And at this time, to kick it off, I'd like to introduce Mr. David Giebler, Professor of Music, University of Wisconsin, Marinette Campus. David.
Thank you, Phil. It's my pleasure to be back here at Coleman High School. It's been a while since that first contest, which was here at Coleman High School this season. And I'd like to tell you that we're very excited and pleased to be here today. For me, it's a special privilege to be able to serve as HiQ Quizmaster this year for these three final teams. I'd like to remind you all that they are competing for awards of $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000. And that's what we're determining this week and also next Tuesday. By the end of next Tuesday, we'll know who these winners are. Everyone will be receiving an award for one of these three schools, though, here today. I'd like to take a few minutes just to explain for you, or review for most of you, the rules that help us play Scott HiQ. The teams on stage compete against each other in three contests, one at each of these three high schools. The first, second, and third place winners are determined by their cumulative points from all three contests. Questions are prepared in 14 subject areas, and just a few minutes ago, each team drew from sealed envelopes a colored card corresponding to a set of questions. Those cards look like one of these three colors I'm holding up right now. This random drawing eliminates the possibility of anyone knowing beforehand which questions a team will receive. This is how points are scored in the standard categories. Each team receives its own question. The team has 15 seconds and 4 chances to answer. A correct answer on the first try is worth 4 points. Then each time an incorrect answer is given, it's worth 1 point less. If the team misses it entirely, either of the other 2 teams can gain 1 point with the correct answer for a bonus point. We'll explain scoring in other categories as we go on with the contest today. Midway through the contest, there's a 90-second consultation period to permit all of the teams and their advisors to confer and complete strategic changes. Immediately after the contest, there's a 5-minute consultation period for teams and faculty advisors only. No one else is permitted down here on the gym floor at during this 5-minute time period. And now I'll ask the teams to introduce themselves, beginning with on my far left, Wausaukee High School.
Travis Forrest. David Schrader.
Christy Wilford. Heather McNaball.
Pat Schleiss. Steve Ranicle.
Janet Lewandowski.
John Raw.
And our advisors, Mr. Hero and Mrs. Walters.
And at the center table, Crivitz High School.
Scott Carmen, Leo Servina,
Amy Folt.
Kurt Crandall, Phil Gerbishak,
Jane Pickett,
Greg Chilcote.
Corey Walls, and our faculty advisor, Mrs. Pat Lang.
And the host team for today's contest, Coleman High School.
Kate Lewandowski,
Jonas Govitz. Roger Shesnick.
Roxanne Paul Zane,
Scott White.
Brenda Hollida,
John Skovitz, Jamie Hero, and our faculty advisors, Mrs. Stigobar and Mrs. Valenti.
As the faculty advisors and supporting team members return to their seats, I'd like to take an opportunity here to recognize and thank the students who are helping us with the staging today. Those gentlemen were Jeremy Detman, Chad Rickling, Andy Krieger, and Larry Cox. Thank you, men, for helping out with us today. The coordinator for Scott HiQ is Paulette Mudrock, and our HiQ engineer is Bill Walker. Finally, and this is very important, even though we want your enthusiasm and your applause for the contest today, please don't give out any answers. You may be incorrect. You may influence one of these teams in a really bad way up here, and that would be perhaps not so good for the outcome of the contest. So we need absolute silence during all the teams' answering periods today, especially at its finals. And now let's begin this contest of the 1989 Scott HiQ Championships with the first question to the home team in current events. And just before, another note I want to make here before we begin today is that teams, these questions are probably a little more challenging than those in the Series 1 play. So don't be surprised if you do not score as high today. If you miss several answers, especially at the beginning of the contest, do not be discouraged. Continue to concentrate and do the best you can today here. It's going to be a little bit tougher than it was in the first series. So Coleman, your current events question is, the United States and this country have reached a tentative accord calling for this country to pay over $27 million to the families of 37 American soldiers killed in the 1987 missile attack on the frigate USS Stark in the Persian Gulf. Name the country who is making this reparation.
Iran.
No?
Iraq.
Yes, Iraq is correct. 3 points. Crivitz, your current events question reads, this man was recently elected leader of the self-proclaimed Palestinian state. The vote by the PLO's Central Council was aimed at enhancing his official status and was considered a new mandate for the PLO chief, who has come under recent criticism for his personal policy initiatives. Give this man's last name.
Arafat,
Arafat is correct for 4 points. Crivitz. and Wausaukee. A contract with the Soviet Union to send a reporter to the MIR space station was recently signed by a television network in this country. As part of the deal, the television network will reportedly pay about $12 million to the Soviets to launch the reporter on a Soyuz rocket sometime in 1991. The first astronaut from this country is scheduled to be aboard a United States space shuttle in a flight scheduled for July in 1991. Name the country whose reporter will be the first journalist to report from space.
Canada?
No.
Britain.
No. Two seconds. Crivitz.
France?
No. Audience, does anybody know? Japan. Somebody said Japan. Yes, Japan is the answer. The category is now American history. American history. Commenting on the sharp division of wealth developing in the United States in the late 1800s, this man wrote in his famous book, Progress and Poverty, "So long as all the increased wealth which modern progress brings goes but to build up great fortunes, to increase luxury and make sharper the contrast between the house of have and the house of want, progress is not real and cannot be permanent." Give the social commentator's last name, please. Five seconds.
Smith.
No.
Engels.
No. Crivitz.
Sinclair?
No. Wausaukee.
Reese?
No. Anybody in the audience know this one? The answer is George. Henry George. Crivitz, your American history question. This American military author published a series of books in the 1890s which extolled the theme that twin prizes of victory and world domination went to those countries that won and retained control of the sea. His imperialist arguments led to increased domestic support for enlarging the American Navy and for building the Panama Canal. Give his last name. Five seconds, Crivitz.
Harry?
No? Wausaukee.
Mahan?
Yes, Mahan is correct for a bonus point. Alfred T. Mahan was the answer. And Wausaukee, your American history question. One of Franklin Roosevelt's most ambitious programs to provide relief during the Depression was the creation of the Works Progress Administration, which established a system of work relief for the unemployed. Give the name of the director of the program, who was nicknamed the Minister of Relief.
Truman.
Again, please?
Truman.
No. Crivitz?
Johnson?
No. And the answer is, audience? Nobody from the audience knows. Oh, come on. Harry Hopkins. Hopkins was the answer. On to the category of biology. Biology is the next category here today. Coleman. Most spiders use an unusual type of apparatus to breathe. Name the unusual breathing apparatus which is typically used by spiders. Five seconds, Coleman. Crivitz.
Book lungs?
Book lungs is correct for 1 point. Crivitz, your biology question. Hoofed mammals are used extensively by humans as beasts of burden and as food. Cattle, horses, pigs, Sheep and oxen are all hoofed animals, or mammals, rather. Name the category to which hoofed mammals belong.
Persona
No. Coleman.
Ungulates.
Ungulates is correct for a bonus point. As you can see, I think bonus points are going to be very important today in today's competition. Wausaukee, your biology question. The terminal buds of a stem often grow more than lateral buds. What is the name given to this phenomenon?
Cross-hatching.
No. Crivitz.
Apical dominance.
Yes, that's correct. Apical dominance. And now the category is toss-up sports. In the toss-up categories, the first team to push its buzzer answers first. 4 points for a correct answer, and if it's incorrect, the remaining teams may try to answer by signaling with their buzzers. Teams, press your buzzers at any time. The toss-up sports question reads, from 1868 until 1985, the world record in the mile run was lowered from 4 minutes, 29 seconds to 3 minutes, 46 seconds. After Glenn Cunningham set a new mark in 1934, only one American held the world record in the mile run. Give his last name. Wausaukee.
Bannister.
No. Five seconds. Coleman.
Cole.
No. Crivitz.
Scott.
No. Audience, who was this miler? I haven't heard it yet. Jim Ryan is the answer. Jim Ryan. I remember watching him on television set this record. Right. Okay. On to the category of American literature. In Mark Twain's Tom Sawyer, this is Coleman's question. In Mark Twain's Tom Sawyer, they found a treasure chest that had been hidden in a cave. Give the name of the person who died in that cave. Five seconds, Coleman.
McGowan.
No. Crivitz.
Injun Joe.
Injun Joe is correct. One bonus point. Crivitz, your American literature question. In Edith Wharton's House of Mirth, Lily was able to repay her debt to Gus Trenor. How did she get the money to enable her to settle that debt?
Inherited from her aunt.
That's correct. She inherited it from her aunt. 4 points, Crivitz. And Wausaukee, your American lit question. From what specific source did Hemingway take the title for his novel, The Sun Also Rises?
The Book of Ecclesiastes.
That's correct, the Book of Ecclesiastes. Taken from the Bible, that's correct. And now the category is Shakespeare. Coleman, back to you. In Antony and Cleopatra, name the character described by Mark Antony in the following lines. There's a great spirit gone, thus did I desire it. What our contempt doth often hurl from us, we wish it ours again. Name the character described.
Cleopatra.
No.
Barvis.
No. Crivitz.
The king.
No. Wausaukee.
Julius Caesar.
No. The answer is, audience, how many Shakespeare buffs have we today? one. Fulvia was the person. Fulvia was the character. All right. Shakespeare for Crivitz now. In Othello, name the character who brings Othello a letter from the Duke and senators of Venice ordering Othello to return to Venice. Three seconds. No?
Cassio.
No? Wausaukee.
Clown.
No? No. Anybody want to guess at this? No, not Rodrigo. Lodovico. Lodovico. And Wausaukee's Shakespeare question. Wausaukee. In The Merry Wives of Windsor, name the character who needs strong persuasion to dine with the Page family early in the play.
Fenton.
No. 5 seconds.
Slender.
Yes, Slender's correct for 3 points. And now for vocabulary. In vocabulary, each team has a copy of its question. 1 answer per team and no bonus points. I'll tell you when to open your envelopes, teams. The first word goes to Coleman, so Coleman, go ahead and open your envelope. The word is pundit. A pundit is a foreign currency, a figure of speech, a learned man, or an ancient proverb.
A figure of speech?
No. What was it? Anybody know? It's a learned man. A pundit is a learned man, yes. Somebody got it up there, right. All right, Crivitz. Go ahead and open your envelope. Their word is sheet. Sheet. On a sailboat, a sheet is a bed, a life preserver, a mast, or a rope. Rope? Yes, a rope is correct for 4 points. And Wausaukee, go ahead and open your envelope. Wausaukee's word is leitmotif. The leitmotif in an opera is the soprano's big aria, the tenor's big aria, a dominant recurrent theme, or the text of the opera.
A dominant recurrent theme.
That's correct, a dominant recurrent theme. 4 points, Wausaukee. All right, let's take a look at these scores today. Notice they're not as high as they normally are in regular play. We have Coleman with 4 points, Wausaukee with 12, and Crivitz with 15 today. With one half of the contest completed now, we'll have a 90-second conference period. And while they're discussing their strategies and implementing contest changes, we'll be back with you in about 90 seconds. The teams have made some changes for the second half of today's championship Scott HiQ contest. So we'll go right ahead with the second half now. To lead off the subjects in the second half today, the category is now chemistry. So Coleman, here's your chemistry question. The main type of organic acid is the weak carboxylic acid. Give the name of the functional group characteristic of this class of organic molecules.
Halogen.
No, no. Crivitz.
Carboxyl group.
Carboxyl group is correct for a bonus point. And Crivitz, your chemistry question now reads, lime calcium oxide is a metal oxide that reacts with water to form a base called slaked lime, calcium hydroxide. What name is given to the metal oxides that react with water to form a base?
Metallic hydroxide.
No. 5 seconds. Coleman.
Anhydrides?
No. And Wausaukee.
Hydronium hydroxides?
No. It's got to be one of those ides, doesn't it? All right. Chemistry buffs from the audience. What is this? The answer is basic anhydride. Basic anhydride. Both words were needed in that answer. Wausaukee. Your chemistry question. Wausaukee. Electronegativity is a measure of the attraction an atom has for the electron shared in a covalent bond with another atom. Name the most reactive nonmetal that was assigned the largest value by Linus Pauling because it has the greatest attraction for electrons.
Fluorine?
Fluorine is correct for 4 points. And the category changes now again to physics. Coleman. If a large rock is tossed into the water of a still pond, the water molecules will vibrate vertically and the waves will travel horizontally. What name is given to these waves where the matter vibrates at right angles to the direction the wave travels?
Doppler effect.
No. 5 seconds. Crivitz.
Transverse wave.
Transverse waves is correct. 1 bonus point. And now, Crivitz, your physics question. If you toss a stick across a frozen pond, it appears to move away from you in a straight line, but parts appear to wobble as it skids across the ice. There is a special point associated with the stick that is moving in a straight line. Name this point where all the mass of a body can be considered to be located.
Center of gravity.
That's correct, center of gravity. 4 points. And Wausaukee, your physics question. One of the hottest research fields in physics today involves the study of metals that, when cooled to very low temperatures, have the ability to hold electrical current for unusual lengths of time. Give the name for this group of unique metals that exhibit this property.
Superconductivity?
No.
Superinductive?
Again, please?
Superconductive?
No. Crivitz.
Superconductors.
Yes, superconductors. Superconductors. That's 1 bonus point, Crivitz. And now for team choice. In this category, the time limits are 1 minute for mathematics and then 15 seconds each for literature and American history. Each team chose its subject before the contest. Questions are originally worth 4 points, 1 answer per team. If answered incorrectly the first time, the question is then worth 2 points to the other teams. Remember, teams, if I rule the original team's answer wrong, you can buzz in any time during the rest of the answer period or at the sound of the time limit buzzer. So, all right. Coleman, you chose a question in the area of mathematics. So all three teams, go ahead and open your math team choice envelopes. All three teams open math team choice envelope. It's a trigonometry problem. Given the triangle ABC, if segment AB has length 10 and segment AC has length 12 and the measure of angle A is 60 degrees, find the length of segment BC. Leave the answer as a square root. You have 1 minute. Ten seconds left. Crivitz.
5 times square is 2 over 12.
No. All right. The answer to that problem was the square root of 124 or 2 times the square root of 31. The next team choice problem was in the area of literature. And Crivitz, this was your question. In Lawrence's story, The Horse Dealer's Daughter, we read of Dr. Ferguson who watches Mabel without being seen. She first goes to her mother's grave. What does she do there? Five seconds, Crivitz.
Cleans it?
Yes, that's correct. She cleans it or washes it. 4 points. And Wausaukee. Your team choice question was in the area of American history. Following the urban race riots of the mid-1960s, President Johnson appointed a commission to identify the causes of these riots. The commission warned that our nation is moving toward 2 societies, one black, one white, separate and unequal. Give the name of this commission. Five seconds.
Johnson Commission?
No. No. No other answers? Audience, what was this commission? The Kerner Commission. The Kerner Commission. And now, back to regular play. The category is American government. Coleman, your turn again. In an effort to balance the public's right to know with the legitimate concerns of government to protect secret information, this law was passed creating specific procedures whereby the public could gain access to certain government records. The initials of this law are FOIA. Give its full name. Five seconds left. Crivitz.
Federal Operations Investigations Act.
No. Audience, any ideas about these initials? FOIA? Freedom of Information Act. Freedom of Information Act is the answer. And now, Crivitz, your American government question. Generally, delegates to a national party convention have been appointed or elected by local and state procedures. Occasionally, there will be an argument over which delegates from a certain state should be seated. When this happens, the issue is taken up by this special committee created for the purpose of determining who the proper delegates are. Give the name of this committee.
Seating committee?
Again, please?
Seating committee?
No. Coleman?
Standing committee?
No. Wausaukee?
Delegate committee.
No. Audience, anybody know this?
Credentials.
Credentials, yes, David Lane, the cameraman, got it. How about that? Too bad he's too old for the HiQ team, right? All right, and Wausaukee, your American government question. In two separate cases, the U.S. Supreme Court has recently ruled that, with certain restrictions, it is legal for states to pass laws requiring non-union members to pay a fair share fee to the union which represents their work group. This fee helps to cover the cost of collective bargaining activities. So, give the term used to describe the principle when a non-union worker must pay a fee or dues to the local union.
Yellow dog?
No.
Blackball?
No. Crivitz? No. Anybody else? No. The answer to this question is agency shop. Agency shop. Going on, the next category is world history. Back to Coleman. World history. Before his trial for treason, Louis XVI was stripped of his royal name. By what name and title was he known at his death? Five seconds. Crivitz?
Earl of Gladstone,
No. Wausaukee?
King Louis XVI of Bourbon,
Again, please?
King Louis XVI of Bourbon.
Nope. Nope. The answer was Citizen Louis Capet, or just Citizen Capet would have been acceptable too. Citizen Capet. Crivitz, your world history question. English philosopher Thomas Hobbes argued in his major book that absolute monarchy is the best form of government. What is the name of Hobbes' book, which was published in 1651? Five seconds.
Life and love?
No. Coleman?
The Leviathan?
Leviathan is correct for a bonus point. How about that, Wausaukee? And Wausaukee, your world history question. In India, the French had colonial administrators. This one, named commander of French possessions in 1742, made alliances with native Indian princes, and during King George's War. And then during King George's War, he captured the English trade center of Madras. Give the last name of this French commander.
Lavoisier,
No.
Pierre.
No. Crivitz?
Boudier,
No.
Lafayette?
No. Audience, who was this man? Duplay, yes. Duplay. Somebody said Duplay. And now to art history. Art history is the next category. Coleman. The Benedictine Abbey was built on a rocky cliff above the Danube River. The imposing structure was begun in 1702. Give the last name of the Austrian architect who designed this abbey and died in 1720.
Von Gildenbrand.
No?
Prantauer.
Prantauer is correct for 3 points. Crivitz, your art history question. This portraitist did not flatter his subjects, but painted them as he saw them, using strong brush strokes and innovative color. An example of his work is the portrait of Mrs. Richard Yates, now in the National Gallery of Art. Give the last name of this American artist who died in 1828.
Stewart?
Yes, Gilbert Stuart. 4 points. And Wausaukee, your art history question. The painting by this artist entitled Judgment of Paris depicts 3 nude female figures against a background of the artist's favorite countryside. The artist excelled in depicting the translucent quality of human flesh. Give the last name of this Flemish artist who lived from 1577 to 1640.
Rubens.
Rubens is correct for 4 points. And now toss-up math. In mathematics, there's a 1-minute time limit, and each team has a copy of the question that they're working on. Teams will use their buzzers to signal for the opportunity to answer. This is the final toss-up question and the last question in today's contest. It's worth 4 points, so teams press your buzzers at any time. Go ahead and open your envelopes. It's a trigonometry problem, and it reads, in the triangle ABC, if A equals 2, B equals 4, and C equals 3, then what is the value of the cosine of angle C expressed as a fraction reduced to lowest terms? You have 1 minute. Wausaukee.
2.
No. Coleman.
1/2.
No. 30 seconds. Crivitz.
3 times square root of 3 over 2.
No. The answer is 11/16. 11/16 is the answer. All right, I'd like to remind you that everyone in the audience, I'd like to remind you that only the faculty advisors and the contestants are permitted to be down here on the gym floor during the 5-minute consultation period after the contest. And now the results of today's competition. Coleman with 8 points, Wausaukee at 20 points, and Crivitz with 30 points today. Congratulations to all 3 teams today for an exciting finals competition. There's 2 more games to go, though.